Hello. So today we're going to talk just a little bit about strategic planning. And so in the first couple weeks of September, I'll be going to the City Commission and we'll be kind of laying out a process for the city to develop a strategic plan for our city. Strategic plan is really a process to develop the vision for the city, where the city wants to be headed. And as a part of that strategic planning process, goals are established. And usually those goals have some measurement characteristic to them so that as time goes on, we can measure the performance of our organization towards meeting those goals. Another way to look at strategic planning is to consider it somewhat the roadmap for where we're headed in our future. And the other thing that we try to do with strategic planning is constantly keep it up to date. And so even though we hope to have this particular strategic plan that's coming up adopted sometime before the month of March in 2017, that is for purposes of helping to inform what goes into our budget and what the priorities are for our budget. So it creates an alignment throughout the organization. It informs about what our budget is. It informs on the performance of the city manager and the administrative staff. And it informs on all of the departments as to how their performance is geared back to the goals that this city commission decides are most appropriate for our city going forward. And then we'll revisit this in November of 2017. As we have an election coming up, and what we like to do is make sure that the newly elected officials see the strategic plan as soon as right after the election, even before they're seated in office, and have them have a chance to comment on it and think about it so that if they want to slightly alter or maybe even more significantly alter the direction of the city, they have the opportunity to do that and create that in the strategic plan process. So hopefully in September we will be able to get an expression from our city commission about the process and the direction that we go about to create this strategic plan. We'll bring in with the assistance of a facilitator. That facilitator will help us walk through the process. The process will be shaped in part through discussions with the city commission. And hopefully we'll have something in place by next March so that our city has a direction both for the midterm and the long term of our operations, and then annualized on an ongoing basis. And as I said, then we will revisit the strategic plan approximately every 2 years after next November so that it follows the election cycle, so that we can make sure that our newly seated commissioners are on board with the direction, the long-term, midterm direction that the city's headed in. So that's kind of strategic planning in a nutshell.